Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Third Action. I'm your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three little fishies that were here last week. In the bottom left, we have Regan, Belladonna, Academy Wizard, played by Char.
I thought I was waving at him. I'm not waving at you, but hi.
And in the bottom middle, we have Tullios Couldarn, Martial Fighter, played by Will.
Hi. I'm waving just at the camera, so.
Excellent. And then in the bottom right, we have Felix, Milos, Maestro Bard, played by Alex. Hello.
Also waving at people on your screen through the camera.
Excellent. Full waving. Hello, everyone. Hello.
We can try to do the wave.
I guess before we get started here, today's episode is brought to you by... what category are you? That should be keys, huh? Yes, that is keys. The Rabbit Prince. Ooh. He's got a green cloak, so he's partially translucent
Putting
there.
your hand up behind it does absolutely nothing.
No, it fixes the focus. It keeps it from
Focus,
focusing on my
okay.
face, which is better.
I was going to say, I thought you were trying to fix the,
No,
green
though
screen,
this actually does fix the green screen issue,
It
sort
did.
of, if I do like that.
It is definitely darker green.
But anyway, cool. So, last time on Third Action, our group of intrepid adventurers. I can use that now, right? I will. I'll just force it.
It's ours now.
Our group of intrepid adventurers made their way underneath the sea or the river to explore the Direction, the ship that had wrecked the night prior, or I guess 2 nights prior at that point, in the Jagare River. Seemingly, it was some sort of plague ship. Perhaps it had some ties to the mysterious plague that is currently sweeping across Corvosa. You were tasked with looking into it by the field marshal, Cressida Croft, and while you were down there, you ran into a strange witchy woman who sicked her sharks and other sorts of undersea creatures at you. After defeating her, you were able to locate a drowned body, which had was in the captain's room. Seemingly knocked out by a falling chest, and then drowned once the ship sank. You gathered up whatever evidence you could and made your way back to your little boat, little row boat, and began to row your way back to shore. And that is where we are going to resume. So it should be, let's see... I'm just gonna assume that takes you a little bit to get back to shore, so we'll just jump to a nice even noon o'clock as the party. I'll go ahead and switch maps. Grab that and switch back to the Corvosa map here. Oh, everybody used up their points last time, so let's give everybody a point. Does that work? That's 1 for me, so I'm at 3. Regan's at 1. Tullios is at 1. Felix is at 3. And you know what? I think the Hero bot is still broken in chat. Yes, it is. Cool. I tried to fix it earlier, but it doesn't want to get fixed, so I'll have to fix it next week. If people spend their points and point it out to me, I'll just give Hero points directly. But anyway, all the not gatekeeping. Shit, what am I thinking of? Word. Today's a day. Math keeping, paperwork. There we go. All the paperwork aside. Our heroes, you have left the wreck of the Direction. And I presume paddled your way back to the dock over here.
Probably a decidedly slower paddle than the way out because we just had a hell of a day.
True.
Rowboat's a little heavier too, for that matter.
Yes, you do have a big footlocker, a bunch of other items with you.
Murderous footlocker. It's so heavy it killed a man. No, it didn't. It knocked him out.
He technically died from the water.
Yeah. I realized as I was saying
Drowning
it,
him.
I'm like, he did drown. But,
It's
well,
an indirect cause.
yeah.
Oh, a
indirect.
pretty direct cause. But in any case, what do you guys want to do? You arrive at the dock, you tie up the little rowboat, which I don't think has a name yet.
It's a rowboat. Do rowboats get names?
I agree.
I don't know.
It's a rowboat.
That's a genuine question. I actually do not know for
I
rowboat.
think
I
some
think you can
people
name any
might.
kind of shit. Yeah.
I mean, we could name whatever we want, but
It is a boat. I won't be getting in that again unless I have to, so I don't care if it has a name.
fair enough. Well,
Well.
I'd like to look through what we've recovered at least.
Yeah, and like, I think that we all want to paw through these things somewhat together. So we can either pile into my office or, Tully, technically your house is empty right now because Lizdy's at work.
It is. It just happens to be further away.
Yeah, either or. We can go use my office.
Be a little faster by boat.
Mm-mm. No, I will be walking. You may row, though.
Well, I think we will. Let's just use your office. It's closer.
Okay. We will
All
not
right.
row any further than absolutely necessary.
I am a little tired.
All right. So from the north tip of the west docks, you just take the leisurely 15-minute stroll back to the Script and Scrimshaw, which is over here somewhere. And you're just making your way straight up to the office.
Yeah, I imagine we're probably a pretty comical sight to see 3 completely drenched people just trudging up the stairs.
Yeah, there's a few people inside. It's actually relatively quiet for this time of day. It's a little afternoon. There's only like 2 tables currently with people at them having. They're at opposite sides of the bar. Each sort of couple is sort of speaking in hushed tones. You can tell the sort of atmosphere is a little bit on edge right now, as news of the plague is starting to spread across the city. The Shields from Flame waves you in, and you see Lizdy there behind the counter, mask and all, and you make your way upstairs. Go ahead and just drop you guys here. And swap that over. Alright. Make your way upstairs. You're home.
Somewhat.
Just trudge water everywhere.
I would hope most of it has come off on the walk here.
Yeah, you've mostly dried off by this point. Your clothes are still probably pretty damp, but
Like dripping. Did I take my clothes off before I went in? I think she took some of her clothes off, so some of them aren't wet.
Isn't this one of those things that prestidigitation does? Like it or is that my expanded mental definition of what I wish it could do?
Let's see. I mean, it can
cleaning?
clean.
Drawing.
To make dry is a subset of clean.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, tidy. Yeah, it can tidy an object. It'll take you like a couple minutes to fully sort of dry off, or fully-ish dry off. But yeah, we can throw in 5 minutes there to assume that you dried everyone pretty reasonably.
Well, more comfortable this way. To your office.
Indeed. Hopefully we can figure out what's in all of these things.
All right, feel free to
Alex
go to your
does-
office.
I think this
Over
one's
your
my
office.
office.
Yeah, like I don't remember which one the
Yeah,
office
I don't
was.
actually.
That's the bathroom.
Like, oh dear, it's a very large
Oh,
bathroom.
that one is locked, but it was the office. Yes.
This is maybe the second time we visited this map.
You've been in this map before. You just haven't
Oh, it is quite cozy.
been here in depth.
Kidding. I think
We're
you
all
would have a
from.
somewhat nicer office for yourself, but
Yeah, this is a working building. Like the office, the room I take for myself is the smallest.
suppose that's fair. All right, well,
But yeah, let's see what's in this great footlocker that was such import to grab on his way out.
gently move
Kill
the
him,
things
man.
on your desk to one side. Hopefully not terribly shuffling the papers too much. Put this sealed footlocker there. And was it locked or just shut and we hadn't really opened it?
It was latched, but it hasn't been unlatched. But it
Okay,
is
so
not
we haven't-
locked.
There's no lock or any
Oh.
pads or anything
Yeah.
to work with. Okay.
I guess if he was alone, he wasn't worried about anyone sneaking a peek. If he was alone.
Why was he on the ship at all?
I guess someone has to pilot a ship.
Yeah, but
Oh.
it almost implies that they did a lot of preparation for this. Like that and the evidence we found from the map when it was in working order.
Oh yeah.
We'll open up the footlocker. Do I just click the thing?
You can. I think it still has the little note in there about if you open it, let me know.
Yes. I just opened it to
Is
see
it
that. Now I do. confirm
Trapped.
it is interesting.
Does it
Excellent.
have a magical trap on it?
No, it is not trapped.
Okay.
You open the footlocker.
It just
That was just a
explodes.
note. That was just a note for if you opened the footlocker underwater, I have to do other things.
Oh, okay.
But here you go. I
Yeah.
put it on the table for you. You should be able to take a look at the contents of the
Black
footlocker.
liquid. Heck yeah.
There are 5 vials of some kind of black liquid. Some black robes with kind of silver trim and the pattern of a kind of fly on the back, also embroidered in silver. There's a black face mask, an air bladder, a writing set, an Everlight crystal, which is kind of the new version of Everburning Torch, a book titled Serving Your Hunger, a potion of swimming, a scroll of invisibility, and some mostly eaten rations. Looks like about 2 days worth were remaining.
Well, clearly, this was someone's escape box. There's a lot of escapey things in here.
Felix grabs the book first and is just increasingly horrified the more he turns over this item.
Yeah, you can take that.
Is that a menu?
Of sorts. I think that somebody here was in the process of cooking anything humanoid they could get their hands on and writing a book about it.
Ooh.
Yeah, as you flip your thumb through the pages, this seems to be a book by someone known as Dason, D-A-S-O-N, who calls himself the first champion of Urgathoa. You would all, I think, pretty much immediately recognize Urgathoa as one of the sort of core 20 deities. She is the deity of, let me confirm exactly what it is, but...
Chomping on bodies?
Yeah,
Excess.
disease, gluttony, and undeath are her primary areas of concern. Cannibalism might be included in that.
Hedonism.
As part of the gluttony. She is into hedonism, yes, broadly. But yeah, as this particular book is presented as a combination of prayer and like a prayer book and a cookbook combined. It sort of interleaves stories from Dasan's life with various recipes he's tried for eating various different kinds of humanoids, including humans.
Yes,
The inner...
it-
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but it looks like the owner of this particular copy has decided to edit it.
Yes, every page where Urgathoa is written, it has been scratched out, and the name Andaisin, Andaisin, is kind of scribbled in black ink. And also, if you sort of flip to the front cover and open and look on the inside, it reads property of Roy Vindmel, Roisvindmel.
Do either of those names ring a bell? And Diason especially, but also Tullios.
You heard the figure. Oh, you didn't hear, but I guess Felix heard the robed man during the object reading session. You heard him say the name Andaisin. But otherwise, I believe you all tried to recall knowledge on that last time, and nothing
right.
came up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
I'll comment out loud and Dyson was the name of the man who bonked his head on this very footlocker. This, I guess they.
You don't think it's the name of the man who bumped his head? It's a name that he said.
Oh, the name he said. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I guess I guess Andaisin is considered in such regard that whoever owned this book decided to cross out every mention of Urgathoa and put their name in instead. That's wild.
How many times per page on average do you think these names were swapped?
It's a lot.
Okay, so
It's
it
probably
took
like
them
3 or
almost
4 or
time.
5 times per page.
And how like thick? This is a big,
This is a thick
beefy
thick
book.
cookbook.
Damn. All right, someone really wanted to swap those names. That was very important.
It's quite the heresy.
It feels like rude, I suppose. I guess heresy is a better word than just rude.
Does the name of the owner of this book, Royce, ring any bells to me? Like
Nope.
Just another weird, creepy thing we found. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you think that was the guy that got his head smacked, maybe?
Maybe.
Or you stole the book? Do you think these were his original robes, the fly robes?
I think that this entire footlocker was his original plan. Like, and it doesn't take a lot to put it all together when you look at the scroll of invisibility, the air bladder, the face mask, like
The flashlight or the
So
crystal?
these robes, I'm not sure what they do. I don't know if either of you two want to take a look at them or this liquid.
Oh, the funny liquid. There's 5 of them.
Yeah, it's not great to look at it. There's something about it that's unsettling.
Maybe this will be a fun spice for Felix to add to his dishes.
Royals a bit.
no thanks.
Can I try and figure out
Well-
what the black liquid is?
I thought you were
yes.
you wanted to try it.
you-
No.
Yeah, you can. Here, let's see.
It's one way to find out.
The skills checks. Check.
I'm not
yeah.
Asher.
You can attempt to identify the
Okay, Asher.
the black viscous liquid.
Yes.
Give it a roll.
Okay, how do I? Oh, I see. Right here. Let's see. I think one of those is significantly better than the others. Wine GM. Oh, it's all set up. It's very cute. History.
All right. Yeah, that's unholy water.
Speaking of Asher, let's just unholy water.
Yep, it's 5 vials of unholy water, likely blessed by some dark deity. You
Is it just
imagine
generic
probably
unholy water,
Urgathoa.
or is it actually like gross water trademark branded unholy water?
It's not branded, no.
Okay, so just generic. All right.
Yeah,
It's not store bought, it's homemade.
it's store brand.
Kirkland
Yeah.
brand unholy
Yeah.
water.
Kirkland brand.
Kirkland's signature.
Urgathoa water.
There is one thing that crosses the plains, and it's Kirkland signature products.
Thank goodness. This is some high quality water.
High
For people
quality.
not in the U.S., it's a very popular. I guess it's the Sam's Club, Costco, and it's
It's
the Costco
Costco.
brand, right?
It's the
Sorry.
Costco brand, yeah. Well, those vials are disturbing and sort of just add to the entire creepiness of this box.
What's like the point of unholy water? As a-
I mean, you can use it for various rituals, for your deity, if they're an unholy deity. You can use it to damage or like harm holy creatures or creatures who are anointed for a holy god. Yeah, it's primarily used in either ceremonies or to harm holy creatures.
Okay.
Which would include like clerics and such.
Ooh, we should mail this to. No. We won't be mailing unholy water to the clerics today. But it would be funny.
Like, how rare is this? I can't imagine that, despite it carrying the Kirkland signature brand, that this is actually something that you would find terribly in a terribly common like way.
Probably
Unlike
special order.
yeah,
Request.
like I imagine this comes directly from the personal stash of whatever worshippers of this deity happen to have a temple somewhere.
Yeah, you could give me a society or a religion check.
Let's go for the society check. It's like, where would you even get this?
You think about it, and most people don't really worship these sorts of gods out in the open, except for like in very minor ways. The only places in the city that would even have like shrines to unholy gods would be at the Temple of the Many, which is in the south side of town. They have shrines to all of the gods just for the purposes of, like, you could pray to Urgathoa for fairly benign reasons. Like, you don't have to pray to her to be turned into an undead. You could just want a nice feast. And she'll grant that sort of thing. So maybe you could get something like actual unholy water there if there happens to be a priest there at the time, but your memory of the Temple of the Many, or Cathedral of the Many, I forget exactly what it's called, as I go check. Pantheon of the Many. The Pantheon of Many. You imagine that maybe the Pantheon has would be able to supply such a thing if one of the priests there was well versed in an unholy god, but even those priests tend to be kind of like multi-faith sort of priests that cover a whole swath of deities. So yes, the short answer to the question, pretty hard to find. You'd have to either find a priest who knows how or make it yourself, which would require you to be a follower of the faith. You might be muted currently if you're talking.
Well, just extra creepy.
That is a reasonable way to put it. said.
It also sort of confirms that we're dealing with some kind of like fairly. The word I want to say is cult, so I'm just gonna go with cult. Cultish group. A series of followers who are both dedicated enough to source unholy water and to, magic up a plague ship.
Are people from Nadal known for their evil religions? I don't know.
Not particularly, no.
So this isn't like, oh, it's proof of anything.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Let me double check that before I lie to
It's not
you.
like that's their big thing. It's like, ooh, we sure love Urgathoa here.
I think Nadal is actually all about Zon-Kuthon. And in fact, their whole thing is that they're sworn to Zon-Kuthon's service as a country.
Mm.
Yeah, their primary religions are Asmodeus, Desna, and Zon-Kuthon.
Okay, so it's even weirder.
Yeah, Urgathoa is not in their top 3.
Probably, definitely was a mysterious job then.
And I guess Zon-Kuthon is also kind of antithetical to Urgathoa a bit. Zon-Kuthon is all about like self-mutilation and masochism, whereas Urgathoa is very much about decadence and hedonism. So they're kind of opposite. Not quite, but.
Well,
I'm sort of curious what else we might learn from some of the other items, like the robes. The unholy water has given us a big clue that whoever we're dealing with here seems to be at least creepy aligned, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think most of this is creepy aligned. Well, yeah, it's creepy. I accept that I like creepy things. The average person wouldn't like this. He like wants to see the book. Just like I want to know what everything tastes like. They probably
Here,
wrote
have
about
the
it.
book.
Ooh.
You pass the book over to Regan.
Is this like sorry, I forget what you said earlier. Is this like a religious text or is this just some guy's like musings on how humanoids taste and what they're good with?
It is 50% religious text, 50% cannibalism cookbook.
Okay.
So you know how those cookbooks have like stories about like the person's life kind of embedded in between like the
Like a
chapters.
blog, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a blog. You have to like scroll through his like story about like when I was on the plains of Geb doing whatever. Yeah. Yes. It was like that.
I'm trying to like find the recipes. Like I don't care about this guy's life. Take me to the bottom of the page where it shows all the ingredients. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay. What else do we have?
Oh, we have an interesting set of robes.
Yeah.
Another thing with the silver fly on it.
Do you want me to try and identify roads? Oh.
Oh,
we've
whoops!
seen them.
I did not mean to do that. Was
I
trying
don't
to
know what
give
they
you
are.
That.
I didn't see it. Yeah, I'll use this again.
All right. Well, that's sort of good. You at least managed to connect that the silver fly imagery is that of Urgathoa.
Okay.
This matches there's fly imagery all over the book. There's a big silver fly on these robes, and I believe you picked up a silver fly medallion that the guy on the ship was wearing around his neck.
Oh yeah.
That all seems to be like holy symbol of Urgathoa. But you're not sure what the actual robes do.
Maybe he was like.
They have some
Cleric.
runes on them that you're not familiar with.
Or just a follower. A friend of Urgathoa.
Is that a euphemism?
No.
Are you a friend of Urgathoa? Wink, wink.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be a euphemism for. I guess cannibal.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah.
It's a little not subtle, I feel. To say that.
Is it a robe or is it more of an apron? Is this like a cooking outfit?
No. It's a robe. It's very similar to the robe that the guy was wearing on the ship, but instead of black and red, this one's black and silver, and it's got the fly on the back, and some runes etched into the fabric, embroidered, rather.
Mm.
Well.
It's his clothes and getaway bag.
Well, what would you like to do?
No.
I also found a jewelry case that I would like to open.
Yes, you can do so. I will pop the item on the table. Let's see. Where did I put it?
Oh, I see the thing I shouldn't be able to see.
I think he's removing that from his inventory. I will delete it.
Yeah.
Where did the item go? Is that here? Ah, yes. I'll just drop it onto the table there. It is a wayfinder. You open up the case, and inside is a compass-like device with a clear sort of center slot where an Eon stone might go. And you would all be roughly familiar with what wayfinders are. They're not super common. They tend to only be... they're an invention of the Pathfinder Society, which isn't super active in Corvosa. In fact, I believe they're more active. They've only just been getting started in the region. They're more around Magnamar, Sandpoint areas. But it's a neat little device. Lets you cast light as a one action while you're holding it.
It's a convenient thing to have.
But notably, this is only the thing that an Aeon Stone would go in. The stone is actually not here.
Yes, there is no stone embedded in it. If you were to embed stones in Wayfinder, Wayfinders can help bring out the resonant abilities of an Eon Stone. Which, when you see Eon Stones, they'll have like a special resonant ability. Those can only be used if they're in a Wayfinder.
That's how they get you.
Yes. Ooh, taking the Everlight crystal.
Alright, everybody's grabbing
good.
stuff from the
Light seems like it'll be handy.
from the
but
chest.
I guess I'll grab the Wayfinder if only to put it into a different container. Yeah, Regan, you can have that book. That book is creepy. Do not want.
Thank you. I'm gonna read this whole book later.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure if it's even worth the 150 gold that it's supposedly valued at, considering it's been marked up to here and back.
It's priceless.
It has, but it looks like a very old, like very well-made book otherwise. And that the value is not necessarily the value of selling it to someone from the cult of Urgathoa. You would all be aware, even for the unholy water, that any sort of holy church will gladly take unholy artifacts, so that they can delete them, basically.
Ooh,
And
some
they will
bowling,
pay
that
you
would've been good.
for them.
I think I will take the writing set unless somebody else needs it.
Go for it.
Nope. I have one.
I think the scrolls of invisibility seem very useful.
do. Go for it.
Scroll.
Can
Yep,
you
there was a
use them?
single scroll.
Are they cool?
Yes.
I didn't notice before they were gone.
That's
I guess I could see it. Because I have invisibility.
I believe
on.
invisibility is a everything spell.
I think so.
Maybe not divine.
No, it's just arcane and occult. So, the two that you guys are.
Yeah, I know invisibility, so I'm all set.
see. That's why I need the scroll.
Yeah. Potion of
All right.
swimming.
Is the face mask unique in any way, or is it just like
No, it's just a simple black face mask.
just adding to the creepy?
You imagine it's meant to be worn with the robes to kind of complete the look.
Totally. You know, if you're gonna
We'll get 'em.
intimidate.
Yeesh.
Regan, do you want the potion of swimming? It'll help you for next time.
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out how to open my backpack again. I can do it. Oh, there it is. Okay. We can do that.
The snap was stuck, and you had to fiddle with it a bit.
Yeah. And like I guess if nothing else, I can take the unholy water and the silver fly robes to sell to another church in the name of trying to strike up a conversation with whomever I sell them to try and learn about them. The downside is that I have to explain how I got them.
They washed up on shore. I was looking for shells.
You know,
I mean,
it's
they'll also.
not-
Most of the churches will take things back as a sort of like gun buyback program, like a no questions asked kind of thing. They're happy to just get rid of it.
No, I hear you. But if I want to find out where there are pockets of worshippers of Urgathoa such that it could even wash up on shore, I imagine they're gonna have their own set of questions.
A shark ate it, and I killed the shark, and it washed up on shore.
I mean, it's close enough to the truth to be it.
It is actually. Yeah, take the fly robes.
Yeah.
Someone will know what that is.
The total creepy outfit.
We have an air bladder and food.
Yeah, I sort of don't want their half-eaten food.
People would kill for this half-eaten food. I'll take it.
Well, do we feel like we have anything to go off of besides just reporting this in?
Like, we've got some names. There's this map that sadly is water damaged, but sort of adds credence to the story that I think we can tell that the ship was very clearly prepared and sent into the harbor to make it look like a plague ship. But near as we can tell, there was nobody on board except for this lone soul whose job it was to scuttle the ship.
Well, then we should report in, I suppose.
Indeed.
All right. So, are you guys heading out to? I could just exit this map if that's the case.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna head over and speak with the field marshal.
Yeah, I think if anything, the field marshal may end up with as many questions as we have, but it'll be a fun conversation.
Yes, I feel like I have more questions now.
All right. Let's see.
Whee!
All right. You make your way back to the Citadel Volshnik. Let's see. Outside, you actually see Cressida talking to a group of guards just outside the HQ. She turns and sees you all, and like says a few things back to these guards, and they disperse. And she walks on over to you. Ah, there you guys are. Any luck?
We certainly did reach our objective, but we should probably maybe go inside before we start sharing all the details.
Ah, right. Well, in that case, follow me. And she'll lead you on up to her office as per usual. And once you're inside, you close the door. She takes a seat at her desk. Well, were you able to get to the ship?
Oh, we were. The direction seems to have come to a rest, sort of in two pieces, on the floor of on the sea floor, harbor floor. But the exploration of it was a little interesting for just how empty it was. Every crate, every corner of the ship was seemingly without contents. It obviously looked like this was a working ship, and that had done work in the past, but there were no goods aboard. There were no bodies, save for one, who appeared to be the captain of the vessel.
A single captain, no crew, and no sign of any bodies.
Not throughout.
Other than that,
No. Throughout the ship, it truly appeared abandoned. Even the crates were lacking waybills. They were and no contents even. So it was like the ship was running, with little purpose. What things we did find, and Felix will sort of pull this out to make a point of it, is this yellow burning oil that one normally uses to indicate a plague ship.
so this was all some sort of elaborate ruse then. Strange.
Indeed. We did find the who we can presume was the captain of the ship.
Any identifying details about them?
Well, and this is where Felix will pull out the robes, and the pendant and mask. They seem to have been a big fan of E030.
She startles at that. E030?
Indeed.
Here?
Or at least on the ship. And they had, in the footlocker that we had found in the captain's cabin, were a series were these personal effects, along with a prayer/cookbook and what looks like the supplies necessary for someone to make it out of a sinking ship and steal themselves away within the city.
So very well planned indeed. But why? Why go through all this effort? Even for the cult of E030, I don't understand. Were you able to find anything else?
Within the cookbook, the name E030 has actually been crossed out and replaced with another name that is unfamiliar to us, and Diason.
And sorry, did you say Diason?
Yes. Regan, if you could produce this wonderful aid in the kitchen.
Cressida gets up and immediately walks over to take a look.
Do you recognize the name? because you
Uh, un-
reacted to that.
Fortunately so. And Diason is a rather notorious Nidalese criminal.
Oh.
We have plenty of wanted posters that they've been sending us for a long time, she says, kind of gesturing over to some of the filing cabinets behind her.
Is it literally just floor to ceiling
Can
on
we
one
see
side?
one of the posters?
Yeah, let me... She will go over to the filing cabinet to pull one out. Yes, here's the... here's one of them. She'll bring it over and hand it to you. And let's see, what does it say on it? Yeah, it says wanted and Diason of the Cult of Urgathoa.
Mm.
Crimes include... let me see. What does it actually say the crimes are?
Eating dead bodies, wanting to eat dead bodies.
Is that a crime?
Fair.
Like, yes, that is a crime. In fact,
I believe, in point of fact, it is, Regan.
yeah, he's like, that is a crime.
Okay, just confirming that's what it was.
Is
So,
that a crime?
yes. Crimes include the butchering of multiple villages by plague.
Ooh, that's so convenient. Because that's
And
what's happening.
relevant.
Yeah.
That's-
Amongst
that's
other
irrelevant.
things such as murder and blasphemy and et cetera, et cetera.
He's plaguing a bunch of villages. That's interesting that he is of the cult, but now they're crossing out her name to put his name there.
It seems to be a woman's name.
Oh, a woman's name.
Yes, and Diason appears to be a woman.
Excuse me.
There's a rough sketch of her that I don't have for you, but actually let me see if I can. Oh, it's a very rough sketch. It's just of what looks like a beautiful woman with long hair.
Is there any detail on the entire butchering of a village by plague?
No, it lists the names of multiple small villages and presumably in Nadal, for which she is wanted for. It's like butchery of the village, e.g. by plague, butchering of the village Nasan by plague, and there's like 5 villages listed.
How is she
I
getting
would
the
take those
plague?
down. Yeah.
So was that
How is she
Regan?
getting the plague? Is she bringing it in a jar? Is she casting a spell? Does nobody know?
That I couldn't tell you. All I've got are the wanted posters, just like you see there. I know they've been looking for her for quite some time, and have been very, let's say, belligerent about trying to find her. Well, it certainly does put a big wrinkle into things. If the cult of Urgathoa is here, and perhaps maybe they're behind this plague. Unless this is yet another type of diversion. I wonder.
Like, are there any notes on the villages that she did plague? Like, how, like a series of events that might have occurred, or just that we saw that they were all dead?
This is
and
just a
then
list of
there?
crimes on the,
Okay, it's
on the
just
wanted poster.
But there's no, like, documents somewhere
No.
here about
No,
it. Okay.
it's just a list of crimes. And, yeah, Cressida will say, like, I can't even verify whether or not these claims are true. These are just what Nidal sends us.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
For all I know, these could be fake, but given how doggedly they seem to have been pursuing her, I imagine it's much more real than that.
How recent is all of this? How old is the oldest crime?
As far as I'm aware, these crimes have gone back some number of years. I think she's been on the run for at least maybe half a decade or so. But I've never heard any rumor of her actually turning up in Corvosa.
Maybe it's not an accurate drawing.
Perhaps. I'll have to see what I can do about making sure the rest of the guard keeps an eye out for her, or for anyone else who's behaving in a suspicious way.
It also sounds like the sort of name that the more underground parts of Corvosa might know more about than necessarily the guard. I might have to consider who else to inquire with.
Yes, I'll check with my contacts as well, and honestly, if Urgatho is involved, perhaps I need to involve the Church of Pharasma. Urgatho and Pharasma are not exactly on good terms, so I imagine they'd be happy to help with this investigation. She sighs as yet another large thing has been added to her infinite list of duties to perform. Well, I can't thank you enough for looking into this for me. I guess even a red herring can be useful sometimes.
It at least shows that someone is going through great lengths to stage events and in Corvosa, even if we don't necessarily understand the motive in detail. The scale of this operation was not small. They interrupted a working ship in the middle of its normal runs, and especially outfitted it to do the thing we saw it do.
Mm-hmm. Make a good point. I wonder... It's possible that we might have records of the ship here at the Citadel. You could check with our record keepers to see if they might know anything.
I do like records.
But you need not involve yourselves in this any further if you don't wish. I'll make sure I look into it. For now, I guess all I can say is to watch yourselves out there. So far today and yesterday, the illness has been getting worse and worse, and more people have been coming down with it.
Have the aid centers that the guards set up helped at all to at least give palliative care to folks?
It's certainly helping reduce the number of, riots. I'm afraid that the number of people who are coming down with whatever this illness is too high for any of us to possibly keep up with, though. Thankfully, we might have help coming on the way soon.
Oh?
From who?
The Queen has summoned doctors from around the land to hopefully provide us some additional assistance.
That sounds like good news.
I certainly hope so. But apparently they might not be here for a couple of days, so all we can do is continue what we're doing and pray that the sickness doesn't spread too much further.
Well, we'll try our best to stay healthy amidst all of this.
No, and if you learn anything else, please let me know. I'll try to keep you informed as well if I come across anything.
We'll do. Like, there's still some loose ends, like, and Felix will gesture to this book. While in Diason may be mentioned many times, this was the property of Royce Vindmill. And if they may or may not be who went down with the ship, but
that name I can't say I'm familiar with.
we at least have their book.
Well, if you have anything else you need of me, let me know. Otherwise, I should probably get back to work.
Let us know if there's any way we can help, but otherwise, good luck.
She nods and escorts you out of her office and then closes the door and goes off on her own.
So we can try and dig into the cult of Urgathoa, see if the Sandaisen shows up anywhere else around here. Otherwise, don't think we have any other leads to speak of.
Other than the plague possibly starting in the watch me forget where. Was it in Old Carvosa?
Old
It was like
Corvosa
north.
to the north. Yeah.
Yes, you heard that most of the early victims seem to come from Old Corvosa and the north side of North Point. So they're all fairly centralized in the northern part of town.
Like the other things that we can run down or try to find any kind of records about these villages who were ransacked by plague.
Yeah.
Like this, and Diason's crimes have evidently been going on long enough to like be at it for half a decade. So maybe there's something written about how some of those attacks have happened. And yeah,
All would have that information.
I don't know.
I feel like if she doesn't know and they're just sending her flyers, but we could look up stuff. But I feel like they have the most information on what villages were hit.
I would
Yeah,
think
unfortunately,
maybe...
these seem to be villages in Nadal, so Corvosa is not going to have a ton of information about foreign villages that they don't do direct trade with.
So road trip to Nadal is what I'm hearing.
How far away?
If
is
you
it?
want. Very far.
To rewrite this whole campaign.
How far away is it by bird? Or flying
Or is Nadal?
messages?
I'd have to go check where Nadal is, but you would all immediately agree that that would not be reasonable to do at the current venture.
It's a good thing we're all unreasonable people.
The city's only on lockdown for a plague outbreak. Us going
Yeah.
to another country is totally fine and reasonable in that circumstance.
Well, we have
Where is
like
Nadal?
we have what we think
It's
is
to the south.
a
It's
poison-
basically, so Varizia is the current continent you're on. Nadal is the kind of, Varizia is like the country you're in. Nadal is the country to the south of you.
Okay. Are they an island?
No, it's a full country. Here I can. I'll put this in Discord if I can, because I can't do that quickly in Foundry. But there's a rough image of Conqueror's Bay. You can see where Corvosa is on the map, and then Nadal is the big country to the south.
North Plains and Pangolé. Glimmerhold, what a lovely name for a town in Nadal.
Yeah. You can certainly try to gather information on any of these subjects and more.
Well, it sounded like we had 3 different lines of inquiry. Cult of Urgathoa, the outbreak starting in the north side, and then running down any information about Andaisen from as far as like town records and histories and stuff like that. So unless there's a better third option, we could divvy it up.
My mind is a blank. I think you've covered them well. I don't know. And Diason being in town sort of makes me think that maybe some of our friends over at Eel's End might have more information the guard may have about activities.
The evil information.
Evil information, yes.
Let's start that direction, and actually, if you two will head that direction, I think Mayhem will be joining him.
That sounds good.
Totally.
All right. So you're doing a costume change, swapping over to Mayhem.
Quick change.
Do you just have
like
like bushes
silently
around
through
the
the
city
bushes.
that you know?
You just see the bushes shaking and shimmying for like 10 minutes because it takes that long.
It's like, oh, they've removed my favorite changing bush.
No!
No.
They just cut the hedges back, and suddenly there's just this opening in the bottom where it's like, oh no, that's going to be real awkward for hiding
Oh
in.
no.
Okay, and you're making your way up north.
Yes, uptown.
Okay. So as you're walking through town this afternoon, yeah, the mood is pretty tense all around. Would you have passed by any churches along the way? I guess not really.
Not directly, no.
Yeah, not directly. But you do see there's not many people on the street. A lot of people seem to be holed up in their houses, perhaps. Things are very kind of eerily quiet. You do see the guard moving about. You do spot the occasional priest with a group of guard with them. You see people being pulled out of houses in stretchers. You see people on the street just kind of coughing, spitting up blood. It's not a good sight as you're making your way north. And it only gets worse the further north you get. Especially once you cross into Old Corvosa, across the main shore bridge. As you turn the corner past the Temple of Eridan, you see like 6 or 7 people outside of a tenement building. They're all looking just completely out of it, just lying on the dirt pavement. You continue past those and make your way down towards Eel's End, and you notice a curious sight.
Ooh.
At the dock entrance to Eel's End, there it is roped off, and there are 2 Eel's End guards there, who they were kind of sitting in chairs when you come up, and one of them sees you and, sorry guys, Eel's End's closed today.
Whatever
Oh,
for.
because everyone is sick.
Yep. Boss says he doesn't want to get sick. So no visitors. Games will resume after the city's doing better.
Well, can't really blame him.
Yeah. Thanks for the information.
Can we
If you
write
got
him
a message,
note? Oh.
we'll take messages, but just between you and me, I think the boss is a bit paranoid right now.
Hypochondriac?
maybe. He says, kind of looking around just to make sure that that the spider isn't right behind him.
Just slowly rising up.
Like,
What
not
did you say?
today.
Well, at least we now know there's something the spider's afraid of.
We can write him a note with some like money in it. I don't know. I did that hand motion with money in it. Maybe he has information about this person. Or rumors.
I would offer money, but I wouldn't give it to him outright. He knows we're
It's like
good
a
for
little-
things, but also
Half a penny now, half a penny later.
I would leave postage, i.e., something for the guards to take the note to.
Yes, make sure this gets there.
But Regan, what would you write?
Right. Like, this guy's not very trustworthy,
No, and
but he's only like a snitch for money.
as opposed to just snitching for fun.
You just
As
ask
people do.
him. First of all, I was the
The
most awkward
lifestyle.
one in that room, so I don't know if I should write the letter. But probably ask if he's heard any rumors about this lady or anything he could offer us and then offer to pay him for any good information.
All right.
I'm looking at you two.
yeah, I'm trying to like put that. I'm trying to put that into a sentence.
You don't need to put it into a specific sentence if you want. You can just summarize. That's fine. Unless you...
Felix will make it more diplomatic.
Sure.
Reagan's is a bit blunt.
We would
Yeah,
like to
if
know
you-
if you have any clue what Undiasin is up to. A simple sentence.
Okay.
I've heard of
You want to
her.
give me... If you want, you can make a diplomacy check along with that to see, assuming that you're writing a little bit more than that, to kind of convince him to share some information with you.
Yeah. I will happily make that diplomacy check. To phrase it in such a way that we need to make him feel that we acknowledge his importance, and that's why we are seeking his counsel.
Don't want his spiders to fall ill. I don't think the spiders can get the disease, but maybe.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I have any feats that would help in this, but I don't think I have anything in letters to like criminal geniuses, masterminds. I don't know.
He's a genius.
Genius.
He's good at being a criminal. That we know.
Criminal
Alright.
mastermind. I'll give him.
So you scribble a little letter to DeVargo, asking him to share what he knows about Endiasid with you. I presume you like leave information about where he can send that info to, or
Yeah,
Maybe yeah, I guess you haven't actually told him where you live or anything.
That's for the.
that's probably for the best.
Do you have a PO box?
I'll tell the guards that I'll swing by tomorrow to see if there's a reply.
All right. And this palm's gonna need a little grease to make sure this gets delivered on time, you know?
Of course, I think
Or
the...
grease.
I resist the urge to cast grease in this
I know
moment.
you
and I
have
want
it.
you to know that I am not doing that.
But you're
But you
thinking it,
could.
and that's what counts. All right.
I only have 5 copper on me.
I have 17 silver because I too emptied my pockets mostly before this entire thing.
You don't imagine it takes much to bribe these guys.
Copper.
I will hand over a gold piece.
Oh my god.
Hey, big spender.
Oh, I won't pay.
That's
big
more like
guy.
it.
but I'll pay this little guy.
He'll happily take the gold and hold out a hand for the letter.
Well, there you go. Thank you for
As long as one.
your postal services.
For this much, I'll see if he can reply now.
Ooh.
And he'll walk off. The other enforcer, Eil's enforcer there, will kind of look back at him and I'm telling you, man, you're gonna be dead if you bother him.
Get this guy killed.
That's fine, Joe. And that enforcer walks away. Presumably to go talk to DeVargo.
And we never hear from them ever again.
Do you wait around for him?
We'll give a couple minutes. I am curious how this
Minutes?
resolves now.
Yeah,
We
I'll
built
just
drama.
sit on the side. I'm patient. Though I only have
Oh.
5 copper, so
Well,
Well,
10
maybe
minutes pass.
Yeah.
Another 10 minutes pass. And eventually the enforcer comes back with DeVargo behind him.
ah, he's here. Hello.
I recognize you. You're that Knivesies chap.
Yeah. We,
So,
just
this,
we're looking for some information.
I'm afraid there's not much I can give you on this one. What does this name mean to you?
Might be the reason this whole Eel's End of yours is shut down. Might be the reason why there are people dying in the streets. Not sure yet.
I see. He looks you over and kind of looks back at Eel's End. It is a pain being closed like this.
Costly.
Very costly. I have to pay these idiots, and he'll hit the guy who brought him the note. He'll kind of just like hit him over the head with his hand. Paying these idiots to bring me notes. Like some kind of scared toddler or something. Well, tell you what, I'll keep an ear out for this Andiason person, and I'll let you know if I find anything. Maybe come back in a few days.
Sure. Also, if you hear of anything about any Urgathoan cults, we're thinking there might be
Urgathoa,
connected.
huh?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. That might cost a little extra, but sure.
Hey, if it helps you open faster, it'll be worth it, won't it?
It will, he says, kind of giving you kind of narrow, squinty eyes. Well, at least for now, I can tell you that I haven't heard much Urgathoan activity going on around here. Nor have I seen much of this Andiason person's name pop up. So, if they are here in town, they've been really quiet about it.
That's what scares me. You
All
two
right.
had any questions?
I think you covered it. If anything comes up about Andiason or anyone Urgathoan adjacent, we would just love to know.
Sure. What's today? Today's Star Day.
Yeah.
Come back by next Oath Day, and I'll have some more information by you then.
Thursday.
Sounds good.
If you stop by earlier, that's fine too, but I can't guarantee that my spiders will have heard anything, he says as he kind of turns around, walks away.
Okay. Hopefully he didn't rough you up too bad. Look at the guard who came back, who got cuffed upside the head.
He's worth the gold. It's fine. This is a pretty cushy gig, all things said. Especially with the place closed. I don't have to do anything.
That's true. A little vacation, paid vacation.
Basically.
You may want to get some masks or face coverings or something, just to be on the safe side. Especially if you're gonna be out in public like this.
The two guards look at each other, then at you. We kind of shrug. It's not my kind of style, buddy.
Sure, I'm just trying to keep you from, getting sick and from other people from having to see your ugly mugs, so.
Hey, would you say? The left guy's gonna get up angrily.
Regan's just gonna walk away from
Yeah, this
this
is...
behavior. Goodness. We all got what we wanted.
Alright, are you instigating this fight further, or are you...
Oh, I was trying to play a joke, but if they want to fight, we can fight. It just seems like a waste.
You can all wrestle for all I care.
I wouldn't go take on a Nizes champion, guys. I'm gonna try to talk him down a little bit.
There are 3 different types. There's the instigator, very neutral, and please let's not fight everybody.
Yeah. What is this? The fight, flee, or
She's just walking. She's like walking away. She's like, "You, this is some guy thing, some old guy thing.
Yeah, just some old guy thing.
We got what I got what I needed."
All right. Well, after breaking up the fight, which is not terribly hard to do, what do?
Balls. Find Regan. And
You don't have a black eye. That's good.
no, it's all right. Just not sure where to begin.
I wonder if we can like gather information around here, because this is kind of the area it started in, to see if anyone maybe remembers a place they went to where people were kind of sick before everything started, or like, hey, gather like a bunch of people and just be like, when did you get sick? When did you get sick? And see if you can figure out if there's like more centered place that everyone got sick. Something like that.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Who's that guy again? Jon Snow who did that?
Yes, that was in fact a Jon Snow. Yeah,
Hey, Jon
Not-
Snow.
not
Not
the
me,
Game of
not
Thrones Jon
me.
Snow, but the historical Jon Snow. All right, what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing.
That's what I would try, is to gather information in this area, talk
Okay.
to a few people and see like, is there kind of a similar timeline of when people were getting sick around here? And maybe
Okay.
like a block or 2 or 3 or 4 that maybe I can find where people mostly got sick.
You have some kind of feat that reduces the time for gather information. Is that
Yes, I
correct?
am Hobnobber. Yes,
Hobnobber.
Hobnobber. Half as long as normal.
Okay, so all right, it'll take 1 hour then.
Not very diplomatic.
Yeah, we'll go to all those plague parties and hobnob.
Yes.
So yeah, tell me about who were you, what's your question and what type of people are you trying to ask?
I'd probably start with some of the sick people. I'd put my mask on and try and start with some of the sick people. I know that they're not very like lucid, but maybe like, when did you start feeling sick? Where were you? And then kind of move along, find some healthier people. Be like, did your family member fall sick at any time, or a friend you know? And what
Okay, so you're
time
mostly
is that?
talking to people like on the street.
Yes, on the street.
Okay. In that case, if anyone wants to aid, I'll take an aid with medicine or society or diplomacy, or intimidation. Depends on your approach. And then
Intimidation?
Ooh, intimidate the sick people.
I'll do diplomacy. We'll split the difference.
Y'all gonna talk to me?
The people who want to fight go to Mayhem. The people who want a conversation go to Felix.
That is a 30 total
Ooh.
to aid.
I don't know what I rolled to aid. I now habitually do them private.
Okay, well, here, that was a 20 and a 30. Okay, so the 30 is a crit, the 20 is a success. So we just take the higher of the two, which is the crit, so you get a +2, Regan, to your diplomacy.
Alright,
As you
my
attempt to
diplomacy's
gather
not bad.
information.
I will use a harrow point on this, so I'm gonna roll twice.
All right.
Do you want public or private?
You can go into a public.
Okay. Let's go +2.
You start asking around Old Corvosa.
And then I'll do another one. Oh, that's pretty good actually.
Oh yeah, you don't have to pre-state the reroll.
I
You
just
could- you
I
could
just
take
realized as
that.
I rolled it, I'm like, I could have just, if it was, I was
Okay.
doing it thinking it was a private roll, so this is
Sure.
25.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
fine with
25. All right. So you spend an hour asking around, particularly around the docks region, mostly of people outside that you are able to interact with, and everyone kind of tells you the same story. They're not sure where they got it from. Most of these people live and work around here in Old Corvosa, especially since a lot of the job market has kind of stopped. Most people around here like work at the docks or at the warehouses, or in the very small local businesses nearby. And yeah, just a couple days ago, it seems like a bunch of people just started getting sick suddenly. And I should have written down exactly what day, but people have been getting worse as the days go on. It seems like most people have had their symptoms show up either today or yesterday, is the vast majority of people. And not all of the people that you asked seemed to think they had been in contact with anyone who was sick.
like a spontaneous eruption of illness.
Yeah, it seems fairly spontaneous. Most of them had just been doing their sort of daily routine, going out to the shops to get food for the evening, doing their sort of daily work, maybe going to a restaurant, and then going home. Yeah, there's not a lot of commonality between any of the cases that you talk to. They all seem to be fairly disparate in terms of like who they were interacting with.
I have a question, actually. Does
Yes?
Old Corvosa share utilities with the other parts of Corvosa? So do they have the same water supply that Corvosa has entirely, or is their stuff very like separate?
It is I mean, separate and shared. I mean, everybody kind of gets their water from the river.
Okay.
I don't think.
I mean, river water's not the cleanest. How do they necessarily turn that into drinking water?
There's places that filter it, and there's wells as well. So, I mean, there are local wells at various streets. So yes, there could be. Their local wells would be separate from everyone else's wells.
Okay. So I'm like, it could be. Say this was like a manufactured plague, which this lady seems to do. It could be like, and it was spontaneous. It could be like the wells were poisoned, or maybe there was some kind of gas or spell or something like that that just like spread out that people wouldn't notice normally, and just going about their daily activities would encounter, kind of like drinking water. But that's just an idea of maybe something else to look into.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna need fortitude saves from everybody. Blind, please.
Mm-hmm.
I am wearing my mask. I did say
Same.
Yes, I think everybody's wearing a mask currently. I did double check.
fortitude save.
Blind.
I'm well groomed.
Question marks.
Does my mask give me a
Wander
bonus?
around Old Corvosa, interacting with the sick. That is a number for Mayhem, a number for Felix, and I need a number for Regan.
Yeah, I didn't put my mask. I didn't actually click it on. So give me 1 second. Because it was in my. I have it on my face.
Oh, right, the plague mask.
Yeah, because I guess it doesn't have a. I have a bonus. Oh my goodness!
I think it has a bonus to like inhaled poisons or something.
A water purifier. Plague mask. Inhaled poisons or airborne disease each round.
Just go ahead and roll. I'll
Yeah,
take into
I was
account
like,
any
doesn't
kind of
really
special
say.
things.
All right, and blind.
Yes, blind, please.
Here, wee. There it goes. Good luck.
All right, so yeah, you spent that hour interacting with the people, asking questions. What next? You can do more information gathering here or elsewhere. It is 3 p.m.
Jars. Yeah, I have jars.
I worry about more exposure, but do you think looking around would get us more information? Would actually get us a source, or?
I don't know if talking to people would. Because they all seem to not really know, and it was spontaneous.
No.
I'm not sure.
Thinking about our leads, I think the other things that we had left were to try to sell back these unholy items to see what we might learn in that conversation.
Sure.
And I think that's it. I don't know. The other thought that I had was that maybe Endiason's approach of plaguing cities is somewhat historically known. So Regan, maybe there's something in the university about other people who have done similar kinds of attacks to maybe get some inspiration as to how the hell this could be happening if
Maybe.
it is them doing this.
Yeah, there might be some info about people, especially if it's spell related, making big plague spells.
Which church did you want to go to then? Church of Shaylin, Bank of Abadar, Pharasma?
Krista, I think I feel Field Marshal had mentioned the Church of Pharasma being somewhat known for not enjoying Ergothoan worshippers. So it seems like if someone's going to have a grudge, it might be them.
As much as I hate to admit it, they probably are the best church to go to for this.
They're also on the other side of the city.
Yeah.
Walking's good for you. Not
And we
rowing,
walk.
not swimming. Walking.
All right, so are you going straight to the Gray District then?
You don't have to come along if you don't want to, Regan. You can go to the university and go have fun with books.
I'm curious. It's eating at me. I want to know information. I will go. Well, I like it. I didn't like the water either, but I went.
All right. So to the Gray District.
Yes.
You take an hour walking across town. Maybe your tokens will arrive someday. They're on their way. They're coming. Okay. Oh, you arrive at the Grand Cathedral of Pharasma, where
So many
it
memories.
as you arrive, you see that the grounds outside of the cathedral are littered with people on sort of like simple sheets, lying down, coughing. There are some priests around checking on various people. There are some guards staffed here to try and make sure they're like taking people. There's like a big queue of people out front who the guards are sort of helping manage. And yeah, you see the priests are kind of moving all about trying to treat these patients. So they look relatively busy. Well, extremely busy currently. What would you like to do?
Obviously, walk up and cut in line. No, I don't know.
We're important.
I think we'll try to not cut in line, but indicate that we have some business with the cathedral that doesn't involve us being sick and wanting healing. Try to request a conversation with a priest.
Well, if you must speak with a priest, Miss de Bear may be free at the moment. I believe she was just finished treating a patient. I can take you to her, says one of the priests.
Thank you.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind.
Alright. Well, in that case, he leads you into the Grand Cathedral in all of its stark grayness. Leads you down a hall, takes a turn, leads you to an office room where a woman you've seen before sits. I'll show you her. She's an older woman, kind of graying hair, or fairly white hair at this point. Fairly plain gray clothes with tinges of red, and this swirling symbol of Pharasma dangling from her neck. Do we have visitors? Yes, Mr. Bear. They said it was important. Very well. You're the ones who were dealing with that necromancer, yes? She says, seemingly recognizing you as you enter.
Indeed. Thank you for seeing us, even amidst the sickness impacting the city.
I'm afraid I have limited time, but you've caught me at a good moment.
Our adventures with the necromancer were sadly not our final brush with the Unholy. We had some items that we wished to surrender to the church so that they might be destroyed, and maybe on hope of learning a little bit more about their origin, as they're sort of a mystery to us.
unholy relics. Yes, the church will gladly take them.
At that point, Felix will produce the unholy water, and the I think I grabbed the robes. Where are the robes?
Your unholy ropes?
The
Oh, the
robes.
robes.
The
Sorry.
robes.
With a
misheard.
B.
Yes. They're here somewhere. I just cannot find them at the moment. Yes, the
Do you
silver
remember
fly
you grabbing
robes.
them?
Okay. She, seeing the unholy water already makes her troubled as you place the vials on the table, on the desk, rather. And once she sees the fly on the back of the robes, she gasps, Urgathoans? In the city? Where did you find this?
We were investigating the ship that came into harbor a few days ago, and found it amongst the items in the ship.
That is very dire. Why would... No. She looks around. You don't think this plague, could it be their doing?
The condition of the ship suggests it was more of a ruse. For it to have borne a plague, it would have needed bodies of some fashion. And save for these items, the ship was nearly empty.
So perhaps not a plague. It could be a curse of some sort. We had some inklings that perhaps... Troubling indeed. If the cult of Urgathoa is involved, this is... I thought we had... Well, I thought I would never have to deal with them again.
Again? Please,
Yeah.
the concept of cursing an entire city with a plague is new to at least us. Could you explain?
I'm not familiar with cursing an entire city with a plague, but I am familiar with the methods of the Urgathoans. They are usually... Well, I guess this would be fairly brazen for them. I'm afraid I can't really... She's sort of like struggling to come up with something. She'll tell you, she'll spend some time telling you about her run-ins with Urgathoan cultists in the past. She's not familiar with the name Endiason, nor has she seen specifically a cultist cause a plague, but they are often very fascinated with both undeath and means of making people dead and undead. But something strikes me as weird. If the cult of Urgathoa is involved, to what end? Typically, if they were going to kill large swaths of people, they would, I imagine, attempt to raise the dead at some point, or turn them to their side in some way, or consume them for their foul parties. I can't see the purpose in creating a ruse, or letting bodies go to rot. It doesn't seem like that. Or not quite, anyway. There must be something more to this that I'm not seeing. But it does mean we need to be vigilant about the bodies of anyone who has passed. I will need to increase patrols of the graveyards as well.
maybe they're operating with a profit motive. Have the Urgathoans ever been known to work with someone or to sort of a financial end?
Profit is not usually in their wheelhouse. They're too narrow-minded, too focused on the immediate future. They rarely ever see the big picture in that way. It's possible they're being paid to do things that they might do anyway. Urgathoans do tend to have rather perverse desires. This could be something that is simply fun for them. But I'm afraid without more details on who these people are exactly, I can't imagine what might be going on in their heads. It is odd, though. Murder is certainly a thing that they can and will do. It just seems a bit odd to... Well, I guess not many people have died yet. Perhaps there's some plan for afterwards. Was there anything else?
I think that's all that I had. Thank you for taking these items to see them properly destroyed. The unholy water in and of itself is just unsettling.
Yes, speak with Keen at the door. He'll pay you for these items. And we will see that they are utterly destroyed. Once we've finished investigating them, perhaps we will be able to glean some additional information. Dark forces are indeed at work, she says, kind of looking over the robes.
Speaking of, not very related, but did you find anything interesting when you cleared out Rolf's little cave? Any note?
No. There were a number of victims that he had already seemed to claim for whatever sick experiments he had been doing down there. I'm not sure where he got these bodies from. Perhaps they were kidnapped victims, or some maybe had been dug up from other graves. But unfortunately, there's been no sign of the perpetrator himself. And I've had patrols there at the... making sure that no one else takes the place. And we've also already done a consecration to ensure that no undead arise from the ashes of that place. And soon, I imagine we will need to have some Shawanti priests come and perform their own rites. After all, it was a former Shawanti burial site, one that had been lost to time.
That's true.
But I'm afraid there hasn't been much progress in locating this individual.
That's a shame. But also probably good that he's not around during this, especially if so many people are going to start dying.
There could always be a connection. Maybe this Rolf himself could be an Urgatho occultist if they're operating in the city.
Maybe. Wouldn't put it past him. Seems like a fly guy. Nope, not that term. He's a fly-loving guy.
Well, I should probably see the next patient.
Oh, yes.
Do keep me informed if you learn of anything else. I will try to do what I can to keep an eye out for the cult.
Thank you.
And she'll escort you out. And which items are you selling?
The unholy water and the silver fly robes.
And that book? Or are you keeping that? Regan?
Can they identify any of the stuff on it that I couldn't? Or are they just gonna take them and shred them?
Are you? Well, if you're giving them to her, she's taking them. You
They are
failed to
so
identify them earlier.
Ah, they won't help us here.
Do you want
Useless
to
information.
keep the robes so that you can try to identify them? Because I can just do the unholy water and the silver fly pendant, and you can keep the silver fly robes as a project.
Ooh, a project. Because Regan is acting all stuffy about you handing over these robes that she's not identifying. They don't need that. They didn't give us anything to work with here. It's
Well, I mean, they might have a rune that you can take off of them
Yeah.
and like put onto.
They don't deserve this.
Here, you can have. I have learned how to drag items to character sheets, so you can have that.
Yeah.
And I will hand over the unholy water and the silver fly
Okay.
pendant.
The unholy water becomes 7 gold, 5 silver. And what was the silver fly pendant?
Yes.
That becomes 1 gold, which I will add. Alright, I've given you the gold. So that was a total of 8 gold, 5 silver. Which you
Cool.
can split up if you wish. 8 divided by 3 is 2.
Yeah, I will.
But hand out the gold yourself.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. I think that was the only actively evil things that we had to hand out, so we're good. We can get out of here.
So yeah, she had you handed into one of the other priests. So yeah, you could have just chosen not to hand over the robes.
I can stash it like half kind of flopped out of the bag,
Tuck
even
it
though it
away.
doesn't have to be. It's like they don't
All right.
deserve this. I'll give it back when I figure out what it is. What these runes mean. Maybe. I'll give it back to Felix. He can do it. I don't want to come back here.
Well, unfortunately, it seemed like the the Church of Pharasma, Cathedral of Pharasma, the Cathedral of Pharasma is also not terribly aware of any activity by any cults of Urithoa in the area. So, either this is a very new cult, or perhaps they've just been very, very secret.
Well, they didn't know Rolth was over there, so of course they don't know what's going on in the city. Yeah, that's my statement on the matter.
No, it's fair. It's fair. Like, as we've learned, the different factions in the city generally have fairly narrow knowledge, and that's why we're hitting up all of the various people that we know. And unfortunately, Mayhem, I don't think you can ask buildings that are on fire for info, so I think we're out of leads.
Well,
can
really what I
do
was
that.
thinking is the Pantheon of the Many's just over there. We could just ask the priest if the cult is active.
See, that's
in
a good
town?
idea.
Maybe we can pretend to be wanting to join if we were worried about that. I don't know.
We can go for it. I am honestly out of ideas.
Yeah, I like that idea.
It's something. For that matter, you kind of know magic. Felix, do you want to take a look at that robe and see if you can figure out what it does?
I mean, I'll give it a shot.
Yank it out.
I
Who's
think
got
that
the
my
robes currently?
I do.
It's
and
in
I yanked them out for Felix.
Yeah.
There you go. Put these
I
squares like that.
am not necessarily the best at this, but I will give it a shot.
It's okay.
I think occultism is my best chance here. Blind.
Natural 1.
It's so likely.
And you'd know what it was.
It's, you know,
confidently.
as likely as any of the other numbers that could be on that die.
Where is it? Yeah.
If I could do a
Looks-
diplomacy check with the robes, that'd be different.
Hello,
These look
robes.
like they have a +1 armor rune, as well as the slick rune, which
Both are handy for somebody.
Does it make you slippery?
It does. Easier escape
does.
attempts.
That seems very in character for this person. Oh, it does. Slippery.
gives you a bonus to acrobatics checks to escape and squeeze.
Give that to Regan. It seems very feline to
I can
be
get
just
through.
the hardest thing to pick up. Nope.
I can
nope, come back,
squeeze
come-
through those cracks
Nope.
so that I can get to the other side faster to immediately die because something is killing me over there. I
And
like
no one else
it.
can get there to help you.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll squish back through. It's fine. The +1's good too.
You can take one or both.
I don't think I've taken many runes. Yeah, my clothing I think is still runeless, so
Yeah, if you don't want
We'll
the
take
+1
both.
rune, I'll take it. But the slick rune seems very you.
yes. Macrorax is pretty decent.
Oh
my God,
I
it's very
believe for what
decent.
it's worth, you do have to have a +1 before you can enchant armor
Ah,
with
Yes.
property runes.
Yeah,
Oh,
you need a
I'm sure I
+1
do that.
before you can add runes to it. And yeah, you'll also, to transfer the runes, you'll need to either have the crafting yourself or take them to a tailor.
where I can wear them.
But yeah, you could just wear them.
No, I won't do that. That seems not
no,
very
I won't be
fashionable.
doing that.
Get it re-embroidered with the fly.
Yeah, you can do that. The Urgathoa fly is not like an integral part of the runes on this cloak. You could take it to a tailor to get it just retailored and remove the silver threads.
You could, depending if I remember right, the Urgathoan fly almost has like a skull decoration on the back of it, the way that it's designed.
The
It kind of
death
looks.
Yeah.
moth.
So maybe you just taking off bits and pieces so you just have the skull remaining.
Ooh,
Go for that necromancer look.
get into a fish.
Or just a fish, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
well, the fish skeleton, because she has the fish hanging off her.
Oh
staff. Everyone's like, "Oh, yummy!"
Yeah, it's certainly a thing you could have someone do.
Instead of getting like new clothing. Yeah, I could end up doing that. Well, she's gonna just stuff it back in.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
since
places at the
Coldboard
gold
was
market.
recently soaked. We could just
Mm.
go for a little fashion break and get everybody refit.
Yay, shopping!
I know it was prestidigitated, warm, and clean and everything, but it's just not the same after you had it soaked.
Still
You
got,
know
yeah, it's got a little. It's starting to get a little bit mildewy
Oh,
as you guys are walking
Yeah.
around.
yeah, it needs to be like washed and redone.
I'd almost sent Lizzie to go get me a change of clothes, but appreciated the cleaning action.
The squishing of the
Cleaning
boots.
action.
All right, what are you guys doing?
The Pantheon.
So Pantheon and then clothes shopping.
Yes, clothes shopping and sewing.
Just a Hail Mary, see if there's some way we can get some information from the Urgathoan worshippers.
So you're gonna make your way all the way around the Gray District.
The wall is all the way through, huh?
Yeah, there's no actual path between from the Gray District into the South Shore. South Shore is actually the newest district, so the Gray has been there for a very long time. They didn't build that wall with the intention of separating it from South Shore, but it sort of works because South Shore is also kind of a yuppie neighborhood, and they don't want to see a bunch of graves.
Oh.
What is this, Daly City? San Francisco area joke.
I frankly didn't want to see Daly City, but
Coleman dead and loving it.
Okay, so you guys make your way over to the Pantheon of the Many. Please hold while I rejigger my memory on the Pantheon. Okay. All right. Well, when you arrive at the Pantheon of Many, it's a fairly spectacular looking building. It's very new. It's only made within the last 15 years or so. It has a massive red domed roof. As you make your way inside, it too is filled to the brim with the sick. As a very small number of priests make their way around trying to tend to all of the people who have come down with this mysterious illness. There are many... it's basically kind of one big open hall with smaller shrines dedicated to each deity around the sides of the massive chamber. And of the main 20 deities in the core rulebook, all of them except for Gorum, Lamashtu, and Rovagug have shrines here. So it's 17 different shrines.
very inclusive.
Is there anybody
Yes.
currently taking care of the Urgathoan shrine?
You make your way over to the Urgathoa shrine. And no, it looks fairly disused, really. There are a couple of there's a small offering box and a few little silver they're not silver, they're tin sheets with wishes etched into them that have been kind of placed against the silver fly shrine, along with some old food that's been left to rot in a big offering dish. There's none of the shrines currently have their caretakers at them. Seems like the 5 priests that work here are all frantically helping out all of the sick people currently.
Okay.
But yeah, it doesn't look terribly active. It looks like maybe 2 people have made offerings here within the past week or so.
Did the
You could
offerings
read the
seem-
offerings if you want. Oh, yeah.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah, that's what I was considering.
Yeah, because is there anything can we learn anything from the offerings? Does the note say, pick these up from a bakery in Gold Corvosa somewhere? I don't know.
No. One of them is this one has a name on it. Let me see if I could find what that name was. I wasn't prepared for that. Flip, flip, flip. Flip, flip, flip. Here it is. Do. This is an offering from Osseo Carowin, and I will spell that out for you. Ausio, last name Carowin, Carowyn. Osseo Carowin. Osseo Carowin. Osseo Carowin. Osseo Carowin. All right, it's a message from Osseo Carowin, and it is, they've apparently left an offering in hopes of, their dinner parties, being wonderful feasts. Is like, please bless my upcoming series of dinner parties. And that's kind of the rough gist of it. The other one is from this one's not this one doesn't have a name attached to it. It just says in kind of like a rough hand etched to the tin that says please grant me eternal life.
Well, those are two very different wants.
How many times can you cast the spell that lets you see the an item's history?
Oh, the
Object reading is
Object
a
reading.
wand that I have, so once a day in overcharge.
The first one seems more mundane, and I don't know that we need to know the history of someone throwing dinner parties here, but
Or is it is that why it's the least mundane?
I was actually going to ask if that was possibly code.
Yeah. Is this the code?
I mean, unfortunately, we've already spent object reading for the day, so you'd be overcharging it to pick one of these.
Yeah, and I wouldn't suggest doing
We
that.
can steal them and then read them later.
You certainly could. The priests are not looking at you right now.
Yeah, they're not here.
I
Have
would
you never
not
shoplifted
steal
before?
from the gods unless you
We could
really
just-
want to.
Puts them in our pocket.
I would happily turn around and, yeah, offer you a body shield, but not look at what
I mean,
occurs.
not that that was apparently necessary. Reagan's
Yep.
basically done it already. Done it already.
You have to be
It-
confident.
It done be occurred.
All right. I will look into.
That's all I could do.
Curse isn't so like to throw your way, but
Oh no.
in the meantime, I'll head over to there. Is there one for Callistria here as well, or does she have? her
Yes,
own?
there is a Callistria shrine. Yes.
Okay. Then as an offering, I will leave the rubber mask of Aedrid the second.
All right.
At least we finally get rid of it.
Do you make any prayer along with it, or you just?
There's a minute of staring at the mask face with the holes cut out, staring back, but he doesn't say anything out loud now.
Okay.
But
Thinks to
after
himself for a
he'll
little bit.
leave that and I assume follow the others outside now that we've made our grand heist.
What
All
heist?
right.
Those were mine.
You exit back onto the street. Regan now with 2 tin offering plates.
Other plates. Nice.
I mean,
Thank
they're
you
like
for
they're
these.
very thin sheets of tin.
Thank you for these plates. That are mine. Oh no, I hope this isn't the emotional event. That would be funny. Someone stole me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate if you override an object's emotional event.
I
with your
wasn't
own.
feeling very emotional. I was feeling particularly neutral about the situation.
Yes. Some of us were a little more torn about this than others.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
touch
like
it.
this. Honestly, this seemed like a Tuesday for you. Like
It's like my immediate thought was, I'm taking these. So,
Right. Okay.
me and my friends back in the day, we used to take everything.
Are you admitting to being a
Bracelets.
thief?
Are you gonna arrest me? Are you a snitch? I was
I'm not.
5. I was 5 years old. You can't try me as an adult, first of all, for a crime that I committed when I was 5. Also, I just, according to everyone here, ooh, we're stealing the tin. That's a crime. Eating people's a crime. I haven't done that. Just saying that's a crime. There are
Thank
many
you for
crimes.
clarifying. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, we
That's
learned that
definitely a
today.
concern.
Please bless my dinner parties.
Do we need to... Well, first of all, I'm curious. Does the name Osseo Carowin ring any bells? Is that like a noble person
Society check.
of note?
yeah, I maybe I see them at the grocery store buying all the fancy food out from under me.
Question marks. And more question marks.
It's that guy from the farmer's market.
They always take the good wine.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Felix, you're not familiar with them. Mayhem, you are. Let's see. What do you know about the Carowinds?
Rich assholes? Who will host
Yes,
fancy
you do know that
parties?
they are rich assholes. Let me see if you have any. I have to like reread their history.
I can't believe you don't have that whole book memorized.
I don't have the
disappointed.
Carowinds
I expect
memorized.
you to just be like every
Okay.
page, just regurgitate what I command.
The Carowinds, you are aware that they are, I think, kind of like a new money, like nouveau riche kind of noble family. They're definitely not one of the major families in the city.
Okay.
Actually, am I gonna tell lies on the internet? Not me.
You would never.
Yeah, you would actually, I think probably from, you would know that you've actually been to their manor before. They are notorious partiers. They use their new money, they flaunt it a lot. They're some of the earliest people who moved into the South Shore district. You would actually know where their manor is. It's right over here. Whoop. It is this building.
Of course, overlooking the ocean.
Oh, sorry, wrong building. It's this one. I forget where I put it. Yes, Carowin Manor is over here to the southwest. It is just north of Green Market. It's kind of like a lush little estate. They've got a pool, a gazebo. They've got like a second house out back for guests to stay in. And they're known for just throwing crazy, lavish parties. You have had to respond multiple times due to drunken antics nearby or at the estate. There's one time there was like a small fire in their garden broke out and you had to respond to. So yeah, you're aware of them.
Okay. That would make sense then. And they would be full of themselves enough to think that a prayer to Urgatho is what's necessary for a successful dinner party. Though now I'm curious as to how well their dinner parties are going, considering the city's been having struggles getting food in for some weeks now.
Maybe that's why they were praying about it.
We were going to go to a tailor,
Yeah.
get somebody's robes
Oh,
fixed.
yes. Fix
Is
them.
there
make
one in the
them
Green Market or
pretty.
here in South Shore?
Green Market tends to be food, but they probably have. They do have tailors and such. Yeah, sure. You can go to the Green Market.
I'm just imagining some sort of outdoor market situation with somebody who does the really nicest handcrafted materials. Everything is just
Yes,
super
they are.
kitschy.
Yeah, they're
But-
gonna tend to be. You're not gonna find stuff like weapons and armor and magic items here, but you can find a tailor who is willing to do that tailoring for you. And they know how to do enchantments, so they can transfer the enchantments on the clothing. It'll take them a day to do the transfer, but they can have it shipped to wherever you want.
Excellent. Because I don't need these right away. It's not a big deal. I can
How
ship
much
them to my dorm.
is it for the transfer? It's what, a +1 and slick room?
Let's see.
Are we transferring? Or just
transfer.
tailoring the
Oh yeah, it's
the
much cheaper
embroidery
to just
piece
tailor.
around?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's much
that's
cheaper
what I
to
was-
just tailor it. That would only come out to like 1 gold to get this
Oh,
retailered.
well,
Oh,
that's super
in that case, if you're not doing a transfer, they can have it done for you within like a couple hours.
Oh, they're fast. Yeah, unless
Yeah.
somebody wanted the runes more.
Mm.
In which case, that's fine. But I was just gonna get them tailored differently.
Yeah, go for it. I would suggest that, in fact.
It's like turn this into a fish skeleton.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
this.
they sketch out an idea based on your description. You go back and forth a little bit, and then eventually they're like, yeah, I can make that happen. Haven't had much traffic today, what with everybody getting sick and all. So if you want, you can hang out around here, have a drink in the market, and come back in like an hour or two, and I should have it done.
Perfect. Let me get rid of my gold piece that I just made. Yes.
Alright.
Now I have pretty new robes. Oh, everyone will think I'm so cool at
Yeah.
school.
It'll look fancy. Can we do some gathering information around here?
What, in
Curious.
the manor, or?
Green Market. I am still kind of curious about the Carowinds. Since we happen to be nearby and we've got a couple hours to kill.
Sure, yeah, what do you...
I'm
what's
looking for
your...
information on the flow of foods in here, and also to see if the Carowinds are, in fact, hosting several fancy dinner parties despite the otherwise starving nature of the city.
Okay.
know
So
where the
gather
food is
information.
coming
If it's you doing it, it'll be 2 hours, which will use up the time, and then you'll have to pick one of those questions.
Well, I'm going to worry mostly about the foods situation, since I think that's more important. They probably shouldn't be hosting parties, since that's just going to be greater vectors for illness anyway, but I know a lot of people are having difficulty just eating right now, never mind getting sick, so...
Okay. So you're gonna ask around about food and how food prices and sourcing have been. Okay. Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check, unless anybody is aiding.
I'll help. I honestly don't have a better idea.
Okay.
And at least I'm doing some.
I will attempt to help. This is a diplomacy help.
Yep, diplomacy.
Aid is public, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Aiding is public.
I'm helping.
I'm trying. Oh, I help a little bit. Yeah.
Double 14s.
Helping.
I got it.
So no, failures, but not critical failures. So no change to Mayhem's roll.
Alright. So... Question marks.
Okay. Yeah, you ask around about the food flow and investigate around the market. Customers, merchants alike will tell you that food has been pretty tight, especially like fresh foods from other places. The green market has been able to get fresh foods from around Corvosa and the Corvosan territories, but they've had to mark up prices a lot. This does tend to be a wealthier part of town, so it's mostly just the wealthier people who shop here. This is the Whole Foods of the city. Like, mostly just well-to-do people are shopping here. They're having zero food waste, so in the evenings, most of the merchants at Green Market give away any sort of leftover food that hasn't sold. But a lot of the nobles have been buying up as much as they can and are starting to stockpile. But everyone, at least in South Shore, has been eating pretty well. They hear that North Point and Old Corvosa especially are starting to run out of food. Meat in particular is kind of hard to find. I'm trying to think of what. Fish is probably the easiest kind of meat that you can get your hands on.
Sure.
So a lot of people are having to switch to fish if they had been eating chicken and cow and so forth. But yeah, that's kind of the general sense here, is that the wealthy, they're doing fine, if not stockpiling. The middle class it's tight, but they're having to switch foodstuffs to more local foods and just changing their eating patterns a bit and are doing okay. And the poor are having to rely on handouts, basically.
Okay. So, have that information to work with. Just trying to think of ways to get food better distributed through the city, but it just sounds like there's not going to be enough to go around regardless. It'll become a matter of financial resources at some point.
Yeah, they mentioned that a lot of what they used to get was stuff directly off of boats. But a lot of the boat traffic into the city has kind of dried up. So that would have been stuff that would have come in from, like, Turtleback, and especially there was like some big disaster in Turtleback earlier, like late last year, caused a bunch of problems. There were some earthquakes. The whole ecosystem around here has been kind of in shambles since the days of the green skies. So things have been weird.
Weird times, but I mean, things had gotten somewhat back to normal for a minute.
Yes, just a couple minutes before things started to get real weird again.
Okay. Speaking of that Green Sky event, did that happened just around the time this all started, or was that a few months before?
That was a few months before, because this is what, Callistril, which is
February?
February. So yeah, it was around the new year that all the green sky and earthquake stuff was happening. So early Abadius, which was last month. Yeah, so it's been about 2.5 months since that all started happening. Or since that stopped happening, rather.
Yep. It's a bad omen anyway. Green was never my color to begin with. Should we get your robes and get back?
Ooh, my robes.
Yep, by this point, your water breathing has fallen off.
Finally.
For realsies this time. And they have your robes ready.
My robes.
You can change the name to Fishbone robes if you want.
Fishbone. Fish. I'll have to redesign her robes.
We'll have to do book 2.5 art at some point. Book 3 art.
When everyone changes enough.
Yeah. Alright, well, new outfit at hand. What do you do?
I'm not gonna strip. Actually, it's like immediately put on the robe. Well, they
You have on
like,
clothes underneath.
dressing. Yeah, I do actually. Here, we'll...
You just shimmy the old robe off and put the new robe on.
Oh yeah, just swap some. Excellent. All right, I have my cute little fishbone robe.
What now?
Oh, do
I
these
don't
have
know.
the runes on them already?
Yes, the rune should already be on the item.
Or do I have to invest for them? I see. Okay, that was the problem. I'll
Yes.
do that later. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Night
I honestly
falls.
admit I'm stumped. I don't know what other leads to run down.
Maybe time to just let it lie for the night.
Yeah, because then the wand will recharge in the morning, and we can try and see if this piece of paper has anything.
And similarly, I'll have Mend back so that I can repair the map, the survey map of the Virizian coast, and see what we can learn from the other adventures that ship was up to.
Yeah, might be sleep time.
What, actually sleep at regular hours? Never.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
think you
not
woke
gonna
up
go
quite
to bed.
early as well for your boat outing, so
Mhm.
you're probably also pretty tired from wandering around the city, talking to so many people. It's a bit draining. It's been a full day of adventuring in Corvosa.
It has been.
Yay.
I think I'm heading home or something then.
Or something.
Or something. We'll see.
Is this like when you took the nap and then you didn't nap at all?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Good
night.
night.
Mayhem walks off into the night.
Ah, there he goes.
And we'll do a
Dude, I-
quick costume change before heading home, just in case Listy beats us there.
Alright.
Oh my god, I have the farthest to walk.
You do.
I will be walking there. Wee back to my dorm.
Alright. And I presume Felix also makes his way back to the Script and Scrimshaw.
Yeah. I'll make sure everyone's okay.
Though, on the way, so Regan,
Oh,
you arrive at the gates to the Academy of Corvosa. And
Yes.
they are closed.
knock, knock.
You see someone lean out of the tower up above, the guard tower. Halt!
Hello. Yes.
None are permitted entry.
I'm a student. Am I not allowed in?
I'm afraid that these are unprecedented times. The faculty has decided to not allow any potential infection vectors into the academy.
You know, I pay money to be here.
Very well, I can speak to the staff. What is your name?
It's Regan Belladonna.
All right, I'll be back in a moment.
My god. I'll spend all day cleaning and grooming myself for this crap. I have stuff to do. All my things are in there.
A few minutes pass, and the guard comes back. Well, they say that you're allowed in, but you won't be allowed back out.
Okay.
All right, opening the gate.
This is some wizard confidence again.
The gates open, and as you enter, two faculty members sort of rush over to you. both in wearing masks and
I'm
gloves.
too wearing a mask and gloves. Wow, everyone's finally caught up to me.
Please hold while we perform diagnostics. And
Keep
they
those.
will cast some spells on you. And after a few minutes, all right, it seems that you're clear.
Well, it seems that my fortitude saves have been good. That's good to know.
All right, and they allow you through.
Yeah. It makes her way back to her dorm. To my bed.
All right.
But
Yes.
what is what time is it? I've covered every time.
It's like 8 p.m.
I know I'm not allowed to leave, but does the academy have a service that is like a printing press so you can make multiple copies of something, like a pamphlet or a poster?
Oh. Like what are you trying to copy?
Like if I made a message, not a message, but like a little poster that was like, help us help you, old Corvosans, and it's like if you have any information about, and she's trying to keep doing like the tracing thing to try and figure out like if you have any information you think is pertinent.
I see,
to
like,
where
okay.
this is from. Yeah, that can be posted. on
Yeah,
walls.
so they probably do have some magical scribing services. There's no they don't have a ton in the way of machinery, but they do have some staff that can do that for you.
Okay, so there's a way to make like an
Yeah.
amount of copies. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's gonna kind of start drafting up a little poster kind of thing to be like, oh, maybe this will reach more people if I can put it out
Okay.
over Old Corvosa. With contact, there's no phone numbers. With contact mail
Addresses.
letters. Yes, do not come in person. Mail letters to this address.
Okay.
It's like
Uh,
Felix's address. all letters.
Script. Excellent. Mayhem. When you arrive home, where is I don't feel like finding Listy over there, so I'm just gonna put Listy here. Listy is okay. When you arrive at your front door, you see the lights on inside. You hear like thump, thump. Yeah. Hup. Hup.
Assuming that Link has not somehow invaded my home, I'm going to unlock the door.
No, it
and
sounds like Listy.
Yeah, okay. I assume it sounds like sword practice of some kind?
Yeah, as you unlock the door and peek inside, you see Lisdy has, she's got what seems to be like a wooden practice sword, and a kind of basic dummy. It's like it's basically just like a wooden barrel on a post with like a sandbag underneath it. And she's just in the living room, kind of practicing hitting it. She doesn't seem to notice you right away.
Just keep an eye on her form and make sure everything looks well as she's practicing, but I'll let her keep going as long as she keeps going.
She stops a moment and goes over to the sofa to like look at some papers that are strewn about over it, some scrolls it seems. I don't get it. How's that supposed to work?
Are those the different forms?
Huh? Ah! Oh, Dad! She spins around to look at you. Yeah.
And Carla may want to help you work on your situational awareness at some point, but Looks all right. Looks like a good start for everything.
Yeah, he's... Well, about Vencarlo, he said that lessons are canceled for a while, so... But he gave me these to... And that, and she points to the training dummy.
Well, that was very kind of him.
He said I should keep working on it, and hopefully classes will resume soon.
Sure. Did he say why he was canceling? Just from the plague?
He said that with all this sickness going around, that it's probably best if he canceled classes for a little bit.
I suppose he's right. Looking at these different, like, documents, they're just different forms, different stances, different ways of, like, practicing maneuvers and that sort of thing, or?
Yes, these are various, scrolls for form practicing of sword fighting. They're pretty detailed, too.
Yeah, do you mind if I help you out?
Oh, sure, Dad. I didn't know you knew how to use a sword.
I mean, I've used an axe before. I imagine that sword fighting can't be too different. And
Swords
Tully
and
will
axes
pull
aren't
out
the same, Dad.
his torch, as it's probably the... Trying to see if I've got
Most
it.
deadly item that he has.
Yeah, just pulling out a torch, start beating on something with. But, I don't know, it can't be too hard. Probably. Maybe. And Tully will spend the rest of the evening working with Listy to whatever degree he's able to.
Alright. You spend some time trying to help teach her some sword forms. And while you're doing this, you realize that these documents that Vencarlo left are fairly detailed, and not only are you teaching her, but you think you could probably learn a thing or two from this. So there's if you get in a full 4 days of training with these documents, you will learn a feat.
Cool. I think at some point he will... I think he's going to spend some time with Listy to do so. If only because walking the streets is, in fact, starting to become very dangerous. And maybe won't be spending as much time doing that.
Alright. So you spend some time this afternoon training with Listy. Clone of Listy is here at Script. Let's see, Tace is gone. Shields from Flame is still around when... Wait, where are you? Oh, you're still in Green Market. Let me move you. Bro. And throw. Okay. Alright. Alright, Felix, yeah, you return to the Script and Scrimshaw. Shields from Flame is, like, just locking up as you're arriving. Oh, hey, boss. Everyone decided to head home for the evening. It was getting pretty slow, and...
I understand. Most of the city seems to be at home tonight. Like, the streets are a little bit bare and empty. So try and stay safe as you wander home yourself.
Yeah, will do. I might actually go on for a walk for a little bit, but yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, boss.
Good night.
Good night. And she'll walk away in a direction.
I head into the Script and Scrimshaw to go make sure everyone see that the place is in good order. See how Tace has left the kitchen.
Yeah, it's all spotless, perfectly clean. The staff that you have seem to be very on top of things. There is one broken glass that has been swept up and dumped into a trash can. Probably a patron. But otherwise, things seem okay.
I'm glad that people are taking care of the place and seem to be happy here. Shields from Flame seems to have settled into guarding the door well enough, and Liz to taking care of the place. I need to try to be around more often to make sure that Tace is settling in well. But yeah, I don't know that I have any business like downstairs other than gazing around. I would head upstairs to sort of pour over some of the notes that I have from all of this mystery,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
see if I
try
can't
this.
like pull together some ideas from all of this information. But honestly, it feels like every time we learn something, we actually end up asking 2 more questions.
Indeed. The mystery deepens. And eventually, there in your office, you realize how late it's gotten. You decide to pack it on up and head to bed.
Yeah.
The next day. Let's do. Oh. Hopefully that's the right day. Yes, Sunday, Calistral the 24th. Morning comes. Tace. Liz D is here. Shields Flame is here as per usual. Would Tully come in today, or is he going to work today?
Yeah, Tully would go to work today.
Okay, Tully would be at work. What about our resident cat?
Sprint.
What's
I'm
Regan
I'm so
up to?
curious how you escape the university on a regular basis and break back in.
As if I would ever escape the university. I mostly make my posters. I'm just
Okay.
reading a bunch of stuff.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm making my spell list and things.
Yeah,
'cause this will be specific, but
Okay. In that case, Felix, you are chilling at the bar. Let me see if I can do this. Hide.
I think I'm trying to put my backpack back together again after all of this water adventure.
Let's see. Okay. I think I can swap over to Scripted Scrimshaw here. There's like one person in here for breakfast. There's Lizzie. Lizzie's over here. Tace is bringing something out for this person to eat. Shields from Flame is watching the front door from outside. She's got her little stool.
I'll pick a table in the back and try and stay out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, around 7-ish in the morning, as you're still kind of fiddling with your bag, you hear someone come up to the front door. Where are they? Here they are. It's like an old woman, kind of hunched, with white hair. Why can I not control her? Hello. Please move. Okay, I will delete her.
Because
What's
the game
happening?
doesn't want to let you make me throw out another old woman from the bar.
Oh no, I can't interact with the token. There we go.
Thank
Stop
you,
it.
Foundry.
Okay, let me reload. Maybe that'll work. In any case, an old woman is walking up to the entrance. Excuse me, miss. She says to Shields from Flame. Yes, ma'am, can I help you? You're not feeling ill, are you? Oh, me? No, I'm feeling just fine. I was wondering, is this the script in Scrimshaw? Why, yes, ma'am. It says so right there. And she points to the sign overhead. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't really see very well anymore. Thank you. And she'll kind of hobble her way in. She doesn't have a cane or anything, she just kind of moves very slowly. She kind of saunters into the building. She'll look around a bit, just kind of like squinting her eyes. Good morning, Tace will say as she makes her way back to the kitchen. Good morning, dear. She's kind of looking around. She locks eyes with you briefly, Felix.
Oh,
And
turn and give
still-
her a little wave and see. Welcome. Feel free to grab a seat.
Hello, young man. I'm not really here to eat. I was looking for someone.
Who are you looking for?
I was looking... Is this where I can find Mayhem?
Mayhem is a creature of the city. He is everywhere.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But
I'm
why
sorry.
were you...
I'll leave then.
No.
She
It's
starts
fine.
walking away.
Wait, why were you looking for Mayhem?
I've heard from friends of mine that he's quite reliable in dealing with crime. And I have a crime that I'm hoping he can deal with.
I'm sorry that you're having to deal with this. If you want to sit down and take a minute, I would be happy to listen. And while I don't necessarily I cannot point to a Mayhem sitting in the bar right now, if there's any way that help can be rendered, I would be happy to figure out how.
Certainly, I suppose. If you think you can help.
I like to think that the spirit of Mayhem is that the people of Corvosa will help one another.
Well put, young man. It's nice to see folks like you doing good for the city. In that case, fine. I'll share my story with you. And she'll take a seat at the table that you were sitting at.
Thank you. If can I get you anything to drink or something to snack on?
Oh, yes. I would. Do you have any cheese? I would love a piece of cheese.
Give me a minute. I'll go into the back. Don't need to bother Lizzie with this. I presume that I can still find a piece of cheese.
Yes, you can. While the kitchen is rearranged, you can find a piece of cheese easily.
Yoink. I come back with a little cheese platter.
Oh, thank you. Oh, so many cheeses. She'll take one and she'll like nibble it very, very carefully, holding it up with both hands. Oh, this is delicious. Thank you. I haven't had cheese like this in quite some time.
try not to spoil ourselves too much, but people like to visit the scripted scrimshaw to enjoy life for about a minute.
I'm surprised to see this place open again. I used to know the old owner, but I thought it had closed down.
It did for a minute. Like, the bar has been lucky enough to sort of find a I'm trying to think of how to put it, like a good series of people who patrons and people who visit it to help keep it open. But yeah, Dimitri used to run the place long ago and passed it to me to take care of, and I've done my best to keep the door open at least more days than it's closed.
Ah, well, I'm glad Dimitri found such a capable protege.
Oh, thank you. I hear he's enjoying his retirement in the far north near Hearst, and I wish him all the best in terms of having a quiet life.
Oh, good. I'm glad he is able to enjoy his retirement. I certainly haven't been able to enjoy mine.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Now-
What has been the trouble?
Well, I'm still not convinced that you'll necessarily be able to help, but seeing as you've been so nice and have given me so much cheese to eat, well, I have a confession to make. And she kind of looks around a little bit. Is there somewhere safer we could talk?
Of course. I keep an office upstairs that I'd be happy to go to if this is the sort of conversation that you're comfortable having in the middle of the bar.
Yes, it's a bit personal, and I don't want to upset any of your customers.
Thank you for your discretion. Whenever you're ready, we can head upstairs. It's as I learned yesterday, it's second door on the right.
She'll stand up and then look down at the tray of cheese and then pick up the tray of cheese.
That's fine.
And start to shimmy her way
I'll lead
up
the
the stairs. I neglected to know this, to say this, but you notice while you're talking to her, she'd been looking down a lot, but eventually, as she's getting up, you notice that she's got really kind of piercing, like, yellow eyes.
Huh.
Which is fairly unusual.
Yeah, does me the Alex doesn't necessarily know that. Would Felix know why would one have yellow eyes like that aside from jaundice?
Jaundice is likely.
Okay. I won't say anything. I'll just note it, and that's the bathroom again. I'm going to make that mistake every single time.
All right, you lead her into your office area.
Please come in.
Where the bloody footlocker is still sitting on the table.
And move that one to the side and out of the way. Cover that with my body. I presume there are some chairs in here, even if they are not shown.
Yeah, you have some chairs. So yeah, you pull a chair for yourself and a chair for her, and she'll.
First, I should show you my true self, I suppose.
And she'll lay the cheese plate down and kind of step back towards the door.
Of course.
That's always a great.
I'm giving you the the tension pause here. And suddenly she kind of curls it on herself a bit, becomes even more hunched. Her face kind of stretches a little bit. Two little white ears kind of like pop out of her hair. And she becomes a mouse, a humanoid mouse. And I can show you what she looks like here. She's holding fish in this picture, but she's not holding fish currently.
Fish.
Currently holding cheese, not fish.
Slap you with a large trout.
Yeah, she transforms into a large mouse and or rat. And she looks kind of sheepish. Wrong animal.
I apologize for not showing you sooner, but people tend to take offense when they see a were-rat in person.
I know. I understand. I admit didn't expect that one coming into my office, but I don't think that really changes my desire to help out if possible.
That is good. I sensed that good in you, and I hope that you will be able to help me then. Last night, there was an execution, and I'm afraid...
She kind of looks down sheepishly.
that it is the only beginning of the violence to come.
Who was doing the executing? That's... I want to say terrible, but Corvosa seems to produce problems on a regular basis, so it's yet another thing Corvosa has produced.
Yes, well, this was an execution caused by fear. An understandable fear, but a hateful fear. My people, we are seen as unclean.
She says, kind of wringing her hands.
I'm afraid that this disease, it's being blamed on us. Last night, here in Midland, by the docks, a group of workers kidnapped one of my people and executed him on the street.
Sorry, that's terrible.
It is. But, well, I'm afraid that down below, my people view this as a declaration of war.
And I can only imagine that for that declaration, they would seek some form of retribution.
She nods.
I think I understand the stakes, but
Girig's has already been gathering arms as of this morning, and I tried to talk sense into him, but he wouldn't listen. I'm afraid that if he's left to his own devices, he will incite more pain and suffering. And I can't abide by that. I was hoping that Well, I had heard that this Mayhem was adept at dealing with such challenges. I had hoped that he might be able to find some peaceful solution to this, where I have failed.
Your request is certainly within Mayhem's line of work. I guess the question would be in the realm of what do you think would help convince your leader not to launch that kind of attack? The investigation into the plague that is befallen the city is well underway by many around the city, but I sort of get the feeling that an answer to that may not be what they're after.
She shakes her head. He's not looking for answers, he's looking for blood. I'm afraid he plans on attacking the surface within a few days. I honestly don't know what to do. I tried reason, but he has a way of convincing the others that I, in my old age, can no longer do.
Understood.
I know where he gathers, but there's not much I can do to stop him.
Do you think he would listen to a hero, if not the wisdom of his own people?
I don't know what he would listen to, but I just know that I don't have any other choice.
If that's information you are willing to share, about where your people gather, I am happy to help send a message. I too don't know what form a solution would take, but I know that given the opportunity to prevent bloodshed, Mayhem would take it.
Her eyes light up.
He will?
To set expectations, the situation you paint sounds dire, but it is worth a chance.
That is good. Yes, I can write down whatever you require.
Please, how the location to find, and I'm sorry I didn't catch the leader's name.
Oh, his name is Girigz.
Girigz. What was his last name? Oh, Ripper Claws.
Ripper Claws?
Yeah, Ripper Claws, you know. Ripperclaws. Girigz Ripper Claws.
Aw.
What a name. What a name.
That's, on point.
Name of a hero.
Most of us have given up our human names some time ago. This is what he calls himself. I am known as Ares Yellow Eyes, on account of the yellow eyes.
She is Eries, Aries, Yellow Eyes. And she looks at your desk and asks for like a sheet of parchment.
I will find the nearest clean sheet of parchment and hand it over.
And she'll draw you like a loose approximation of a couple of streets in the Midlands. not very far from here, just like a couple blocks east and north. But she marks a particular sewer entrance, and then draws you a rough map of the sewer path to get to the Were-Rat Den.
Now, please, I don't want there to be any bloodshed if there doesn't have to, but Garrig's does need to be stopped, so
Understood.
promise me you won't kill unnecessarily.
I promise. My hope would be that we can find a way to convince him that more bloodshed is not the solution. Instead, like, working together to find out what is afflicting Corvosa may be our only chance.
I hope you're able to do so. I hope he'll listen to reason.
She says, looking down at the sheet of paper.
And I hope I'm not making a mistake.
Thank you for your trust. I will do my best to make you feel that it is not misplaced.
She shapeshifts back into her human form.
Thank you, young man. If you need me, I sell fish by the docks every afternoon.
And she'll pick up the plate of cheese and make her way out.
Can't leave the cheese behind.
No, she's welcome to it. And honestly, like, don't know. I didn't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it. That was just not it.
Well, and I guess that is probably as good a place as any to end the episode for tonight. Yay!
Secret Soki / Were-Rat.
New quest just dropped.
We just have to wait for the timer to reset. That's what was going on. We're so impatient.
Well,
Damn content's time gated.
yep. Some things are time locked. I can't have everything happen on the same day. But in any case, thank you all for joining us. It's been fun as per usual. Let me double check our schedule. What is
I
today?
think we're off for next week.
24. Yep. We're on for 2 more weeks, and maybe 3.
Yeah, 3.
Little birthday's coming up. Maybe we do. A little birthday game. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, we'll be back next week with more adventure, more fun. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it, and if you do, then you're no friend of mine.
Oh.
Or the podcast.
Go away.
Oh.
Good night.